As you may know, I have a membership program on my channel. One of the perks of one of the memberships is that someone suggests a movie or tells me the movie and I have to review it. This is a terrifying prospect. I don't know what I'm going to get into. I don't know if it's a movie I'm going to be interested in, but a deal's a deal. And Carol Massey has chosen Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, the 1962 classic directed by Robert Aldrich. One of those movies that you're always like, yeah, I'll get round to that at some point, but that some point never actually comes around. And this was one of the ones that, even as I sat down to watch it, I found my interest not really there for the movie. I doesn't really have that enthusiasm to check a movie out. Do you ever sometimes feel like that, where a movie's so renowned, it has such that kind of classic or masterpiece take on it, that you just don't feel like you ever want to sit down and watch it? I had to, and I had to watch this Bette Davis, Joan Crawford movie, and almost instantaneously I was hooked. You know, a great film is just a great film, something that just draws you in, and this is definitely falls into that category. Bette Davis plays baby Jane Hudson, a child star in 1917 as the movie opens up. She's got the world at her feet. She's doing a kind of song and dance stage thing with her father. It's a great hit. And quickly after that, we get to meet the real baby Jane, spoilt kid, one of these ones that just feels nasty, even at that young age. And we are introduced to her kind of sidelined sister Blanche, the one who's not the popular one in the family, the one who's almost shunned by her father and by Jane. But we jump a period of time again, until now Blanche is now a star, but she hasn't neglected her sister. She's brought her along with her. She's signed a deal with the movie studio for every movie she makes, her sister gets to make a movie as well. She's trying to help her sister along, and then there is a tragic accident where Blanche ends up housebound, wheelchair, paralysed from the waist down, and Jane is looking after her. And this is where the story jumps into, and this is where we have the majority of the movie with these two wonderful actors giving terrific performances within this household as things slowly escalate. Now, the performances are magnificent and wonderful and nuanced and just so utterly perfect, but a lot of what the director does really elevates the atmosphere in this one. And this was a movie where I felt real weight and dread all the way through it. There was this creeping feeling going up my spine. It just made me feel really uneasy. This felt like a real situation where Blanche was in real danger, and it's marvellously portrayed, because very early on in the movie I liked Blanche. We don't see a lot of her, but we just know she morally is a great kind of person. She's looking after her sister. You kind of know the sister's a bit mean in general, and just to see these two people in this situation where one has all the power and one is just slowly being stripped back from being the person they want to be, who is being controlled so completely, just turns your attention and puts it all onto Blanche's side. You want her to be hopefully saved throughout this episode. But the director teases with you. There's lots of tense sequences, moments where you feel as if there are seconds away from getting help, and it just gets taken away from you. It's demoralising for the character of Blanche. It's demoralising for me as a viewer, watching this woman constantly just fail, trying to reach out for some help and just being knocked away at the last few seconds. I was as downbeat as Blanche in the movie. I felt as if there was no hope to be had, much like the character in the movie. I felt as if the room was closing in on me, much like Blanche. And you get this utterly wonderful performance from Bette Davis as this sociopathic sister who's slowly retreating back to the best time of her life. as a child, as a star in front of the world. That was where everything was perfect at a high, and as she's moved into adulthood, it's just slipped down into second tier, to being forgotten about, to being a has-been. And it's such a great performance watching this character who is so malevolently evil at times, so careful with the way that she tears down her sister, so psychotic with the pleasure that she takes in tormenting her sister. It's calculative. It is not something that's just done in a whim. It's something that is meant to cause real hassle to that person, to cause her any kind of torture that she possibly can. There's moments in the movie where Jane really has to think on her feet. You know, Blanche has caused a little hiccup in the road, something that may cause Jane's ruse to be discovered, but very quickly she can turn almost any situation around. She has this wonderful way of mimicking her sister. The acting gene takes over and she becomes Blanche to take phone calls, to get statements down, to change the way of the world and the situation round about it. And ultimately you have these two characters within a pressure cooker situation as things just slowly implode. And it is wonderfully executed. I was just wowed by the whole aesthetic and atmosphere of the movie. The dilemma at the heart of it was just shocking as well. Some of the secondary characters, what happens with them, went in real directions that I wasn't expecting, and some of them are truly upsetting as well. Lots of tense sequences. One of the most tense sequences I had was with a crumpled up bit of paper in a driveway as you're just waiting for the inevitable to happen, and from then on things just go into a stratosphere that is just tormenting and terrible for Blanche. And there is a moment in this movie where the tables really turn, where you really feel like things have taken a nefarious turn, because Blanche disappears from the movie. You're never quite sure that she's okay. You're never sure that she's still alive, or that Jane hasn't done something horrible to her. And it's that taking away of that character, stripping her from the story, that really makes it even more thrilling for the viewer. I was clawing at the arms of my chair, worrying about Blanche. I wanted the camera and the director to let me see that she was okay, but he knows exactly what he's doing, teasing these emotions out of me as a film viewer. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane was a movie that I didn't really have any compulsion to go and check out. I wasn't overly interested, and I felt as if I knew exactly what I was going to get, and it completely, as a film fan, yet again bowled me over. And it's these kind of movies that are just reaffirming as a movie fan, watching something so completely enveloping that it just draws you into the story. This was wonderful. I utterly loved this movie, and I couldn't recommend it highly enough. So thank you, Carol, for forcing me to sit down and watch an absolutely amazing movie. I loved it. You guys have probably already checked this out. You're probably sitting there going like, yeah, we know this. Why haven't you watched it before? I just don't know. I would love to know your thoughts on this movie. Let me know in the comment box below, and I will see you next time on Man v Film.